Thompson.
Lynn Thompson, yes. He's third generation um, owner, manager of Thompson Sales, and had him on mainly because they've had the Cadillac dealership for 94 years, which I find just extraordinary to think that one family over multiple generations would have a brand still available for that length of time. It's amazing. And said his grandfather started. He got home from World War One in the summer of 1919, and then immediately began to work on this new business, selling used tires and old farm wagons. That's all he had was tires, used tires, and farm wagons. And then he got into used cars, and then a few years later got the Cadillac dealership, and then a few years after that got the Pontiac dealership, which they retained until they quit making Pontiacs, and then have added other things to it. And now his sons run the business along with his grandsons and great nephew. So he's got 5 generations of the same family. Got a total of 9, I think he said 9 family members on the payroll right now. But the same family running that business for all that time is just, it's an amazing, amazing thing, amazing for their reputation and for their participation and active being a part of Springfield. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, within that amount of time, vehicles have changed so much.
Oh my goodness, yes. It's just and they've always been involved in the city. He told us about he was on the Downtown Springfield Association. Of course, at that time their dealership was on St. Louis Street, but he was part of the Downtown Springfield Association when they had their last meeting in the garden room at hers. And that was the very last meal served in hers was to the Downtown Springfield Association, and then they closed up. I mean, those are pieces of history that are just extraordinary and neat stories to tell about the business and their involvement in the community.
Did anything kind of stick out, a story?
You know, interesting things. His family, their work ethic, and their demand that each generation participate. You know, if they're going to be in the company, they're going to participate at a certain level. Was fun to hear and listen to. He got into a kind of a little friction with his father because his father didn't think he was ready to sell cars yet. He was working in the shop, cleaning cars and doing things like that. But he felt like he was ready, and his dad didn't, and they had a little kind of breakup over it for a while, and then he came back to work for the company and things like that.
And I mean, is it safe to say that maybe the sons, his sons, also had to go through?
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness, yeah. They all started out sweeping floors and just dry rubbing cars to get the dust off of them and things like that. For all these generations, but it's amazing, just amazing.
And so, I guess we won't have one next week, but when will we?
We'll have one again on the 16th. It will be after the big Route 66 festival. Sadly, I won't be able to kind of give everybody a heads up of what's going to go on, but I'm going to have David Eslick and Rusty Worley on the 16th to tell us how that all went and give us the facts and figures on hopefully a very successful return to the Route 66 festival after a 2-year hiatus because of COVID.